I'm Katrina Asay, your 30th District Representative. Thank you for joining me on Legislative Update. Today is the 57th day of the regular session, which means we only have 3 days until the end of our scheduled time here in Olympia. However, because of recent activity, it is possible we will be going into another special session. You may have heard about what happened in the Senate last week. It was a surprise to all of us, but very important. If you didn't hear about it, this is what happened. The Senate Minority Party, the Republicans, with the help of 3 Democrats, took the reins with a little-used parliamentary move known as the Ninth Order of Business. They did this so they could pass a more conservative budget. So the budget that passed in the Senate was very different than the budget that was passed in the House. A move like this hasn't been used in 25 years, but it's understandable why they did it. In the House, Republicans have tried countless times to amend the House budget with no success. We have asked Democrats to be more responsible with taxpayer money. The majority party has ignored us every time. The same scenario has happened in the Senate. The media has quoted the governor and others who have said that the Republican senators were acting unethically. I disagree. They played by the Senate rules. And what's more, this is exactly why these rules were put in place, so that the majority of senators can overrule a chair or leader that won't allow a bill to be voted on. I agree with House Republican leader DeBolt about the senator's actions. He said, "This is our system of government working as it was intended. The best ideas win the day by gaining a majority of votes in a bipartisan fashion." The minority Republicans were able to convince 3 Democrats that their budget was the best one to move forward, and working it together in a bipartisan way, they became the majority when the votes were counted, unquote. We will see what happens with the budget. But whatever happens, it's likely to take more than the 3 days that we have left to finish. I will keep you informed about how the budget progresses. In the meantime, the House has concurred on several bills that were sent back to us with amendments from the Senate. One of those bills is one that will impact the people of my district, because there has been some misinformation about this bill. I'd like to tell you a little bit about it. House Bill 2326 would increase the clean air regulations in our area and a few other places. The 3 other areas that will need to comply with these regulations are Marysville, Darrington, and Yakima. This bill is necessary because the Federal Environment Protection Agency, EPA, determined our community is in non-attainment for fine particulate matter. This is a complex way of saying that there is dust and smoke particles in the air and at unhealthy levels. Of course, this means we need to reduce the air pollution that is causing people to become ill. To determine the best way to do that, a stakeholder group was created. This group included the Port Authority, county and city officials, health district representatives, the Chamber of Commerce, and concerned citizens. House Bill 2326 is a direct result of the recommendations of that stakeholder group. After 8 months, they determined that the best way to clean up the air pollution was to do 2 things. First, we can begin burn bans earlier. If we do not allow burning to happen as soon as it currently does, then we reduce the amount of time that dangerous particles are in the air and hopefully avoid the high spikes. Second, we can change how we use wood stoves. However, the second step is only necessary if the air quality hasn't helped by the first step by 2015. This is part of the law that has been misunderstood. If your wood stove is your only source of heat, this law will not affect you. And if you have a certified wood stove, you will not be affected either. It only deals with fireplaces and the older wood stoves. If by 2015 air pollution hasn't been reduced, only then will people with uncertified wood stoves be asked to change. Additionally, if you can't afford a different stove and are low income, there is a program that will help you buy a new one. This bill is also non-invasive. No one will be coming into people's homes and removing wood stoves. In the highly unlikely situation where someone has an uncertified wood stove and hasn't replaced it, they will be contacted by mail about the new law and after a warning could be fined. The goal of this legislation is to protect citizens' health. Your safety and health are my primary concern. With this new law, I believe we can take some easy steps to correct our problem and come into compliance with the EPA requirements. The alternative is to do nothing and have the EPA forcing a solution on us, which would probably be a lot more heavy-handed. It's my opinion that it is a good idea and our responsibility to take care of this situation in the manner that is best for our communities. As always, I encourage you to contact me with any questions or comments you may have. If there is anything about House Bill 2326, the budget, or any other issues that you have concerns about, please contact my office. I can be reached at the number and email address on the bottom of this screen. Again, thank you for joining me on Legislative Update and allowing me to represent you in Olympia.